Hello! So I will be continuing Black Beauty. So we are in chapter 6, going for the doctor. And here we have the carriage and they're meeting someone, most likely the doctor. Okay, so our journey was put off until afternoon. We stayed a few days with the friends, then had an easy journey back home. We were very glad to get back to our own stables. John was glad to see us, especially after James told him about the fire. Then James asked him who was coming to take his place. "Little Joe Green at the lodge," said John. "Little Joe Green? Why, he is a child." "He is 14 and a half, said John. "But he is such a little chap." "Yes, he is small, but he is quick and willing to learn. He is kind-hearted too and wishes very much to come, and his father would like it. I know the squire would like to give him the chance. I have agreed to try him for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, said James. Why, it will be 6 months before he can be of much use. Training him will be a lot of work for you, John. Well, said John with a laugh, work and I are very good friends. I never was afraid of work yet. You are a very good man, said James. I wish I may ever be like you. I don't often speak of myself, said John, but since you are leaving, I'll tell you how I look on these things. I was just as old as Joe when my father and mother died and left me and my sister Nellie alone in the world. We would have gone to the workhouse if the Gordons had not hired us. Nellie did knitting and needlework. The squire took me in as a stable boy. His coachman, old Norman, trained me. Norman could have said that at his age he wouldn't train a young boy, but he was like a father to me. He took time to train me. When Norman died some years after, I stepped into his place, and now I earn enough for me and Nellie, and I'm even able to save for my later years. So you see, James, I am not a man who would turn up his nose at a little boy. No, no. I shall miss you very much, James, but we shall pull through. There's nothing like doing a kindness for someone else, and I am glad I can do it. Then, said James, you don't go by that saying, everybody look after yourself and take care of number one? No, indeed, said James. Where would Nellie and I have been if Squire and Miss Gordon and old Norman had only taken care of number one? Why, in the workhouse. And where would Black Beauty and Ginger have been if you had only thought of number one? Why, left in the burning stable. No, Jim, no. That is a selfish saying, and any man who thinks he has nothing to do but take care of number one, why, he will only lead a sad life. That's what I think, said John, with a very firm nod of his head. James smiled at this, but there was a sadness in his voice when he said, You have been my best friend except my mother. I hope you won't forget me. No, lad, no, said John, and if I ever can do you a good turn, I hope you won't forget me. The next day, young Joe came to the stable to learn all he could before James left. He swept the stable and brought in the straw and hay. He learned to clean the harnesses and helped to wash the carriage. He was too short to groom Ginger and me, so James taught him to groom Merrylegs. He was a nice little bright fellow and always came whistling to his work. And here's a picture of him cleaning and grooming Merrylegs. James was sad on the day he had to leave us. We liked Joe, but we're also sorry to see James go. One night, a few days after James had left, I was asleep on my straw when the stable bell rang. I heard the door of John's house open and his feet running up the hall. He was back again in no time. He unlocked the stable door and came in calling out, Wake up, Beauty! He saddled and bridled me and took me to Squire Gordon. The squire said with great concern, Now, John, you must ride for your life. That is, for Miss Gordon's life, for there is not a moment to lose. Ride to Dr. White and give him this note. Ride as fast as you can. Let Beauty rest at the doctor's stable, and then be back as soon as you can. Off we raced down the road, through the village and up the hill until we came to the toll gate. John called very loudly and thumped on the door. The man came out and flung open the gate. Now, said John, keep the gate open for when the doctor comes back this way. Here is the money for his toll. There was a long, level road by the riverside, John said to me. Now, Beauty, do your best. And so I did. I galloped as fast as I could lay my feet to the ground. And here he is with Black Beauty going out of the stables. The air was frosty, the moon was bright, and it was very pleasant. We came through a dark wood, then uphill and downhill. After an 8-mile run, we came to the town. We stopped at Dr. White's door just as the clock struck 3. John rang the bell twice. Then he knocked at the door like thunder. Dr. White, in his nightcap, put his head out the window. And here's the doctor in his pajamas looking out the window. "What do you want?" he called. "Miss Gordon's very ill, sir. The squire wants you to go at once. He thinks she will die if you cannot get there. Here is a note." "Wait," he said. "I will come." He shut the window and was soon at the door. "The worst of it is," the doctor said, "that my horse has been out all day and is quite tired. May I have your horse?" "He has come at a gallop nearly all the way, sir, and I was to give him a rest here," said John. "But I think Mr. Gordon would agree to it. Beauty will take you back." "All right," Dr. White said. "I will soon be right down." John stood by me and stroked my neck. I was already very hot. The doctor came out with his riding whip. "You need not take that, sir," said John. "Black Beauty will run for you. Take care of him, sir. I would not like any harm to come to him." In a minute we had left John far behind. The doctor was a heavier man than John, and not so good a rider. However, I did my very best, and I ran as fast as I could. And here's Black Beauty running with the doctor. When we got home, Joe led me to the stable. My legs were shaking under me, and I could only stand and pant. I had not a dry hair on my body. Water ran down my legs, and I was steamed all over. Joe came to attend to me, and he rubbed my legs and chest. Poor Joe! I'm sure he did what he thought was best, but he knew very little about taking care of a hot and tired horse. He did not put my warm blanket on me because he thought that I was too hot and would not like it. Then he gave me a pail of water. It was cold and very good, and I drank it all. He gave me some hay and some corn. Thinking he had done right, he went away. And here is Black Beauty all tired from running so much. Soon I began to shake and tremble. I turned deadly cold. My legs ached, and so did my loins and chest. I felt sore all over. I wished for my warm blanket as my shaking legs gave out. I wished for John, but he was walking home from the doctor's. I lay down in my straw and tried to sleep. After a long while, I heard John at the door. I gave a low moan, for I was in great pain. He was at my side in a moment. I couldn't tell him how I felt, but he seemed to know. He covered me and ran for some hot water. He mashed some oats in warm water. I ate it and then went to sleep. I was now very ill. My chest hurt and I could not breathe without pain. John nursed me night and day, getting up 2 or 3 times in the night to come to me. Squire Gordon also came to see me often. "My poor Beauty," the squire said one day. "My good horse, you saved Mistress Gordon's life. Yes, you saved her life." John told him that he had never seen a horse go so fast. It was almost as if he knew why we were going. He said, "Of course I did know. I knew that we had to run for Mistress Gordon's sake." And here's a drawing of him with Black Beauty lying down on the ground because he's so tired with both the men talking. I did not know how long I was ill. The horse doctor came every day. One night, John had to give me some medicine. Young Joe's father came in to help him. After I had taken the medicine, they stayed with me. Joe's father spoke in a low voice. "Joe is broken-hearted. He is unable to eat his meals, and he never smiles now. He says it is his fault if Beauty dies. I wish you would say a word to him to make him feel better." John said slowly, "I'll try to give him a good word tomorrow if Beauty is better. I know he meant no harm. I know he is a good boy. I cannot bear to see Beauty lose her life because he did the wrong thing. Not knowing the right thing to do often does more harm in this world than wickedness itself." I heard no more, for the medicine made me sleep. In the morning, I felt much better. I added John's speech to the words I remembered when I came to know more of the world. And that's the end of the chapter. So, write down everything you remember from the story, or talk to someone about this chapter, and then tell them your favorite part about this chapter. So, to sum it up, the chapter started with them talking about little Joe Green and how he was too young to work, but they vouched for him. John vouched for him, saying he's good, he can learn. And then how in the middle of the night they took Black Beauty and rode to the doctor's house because Miss Gordon was sick and she needed help, and they rode all 8 miles really fast. Black Beauty rode there and back, and because of that, since he didn't rest, he got sick, and they're giving him medicine and just trying to help him out. So yeah, thank you.